It's my belief that the longer you linger in a space, the longer you linger in a coffee shop, the longer you sort of allow yourself to be open and stay in a place for longer than you are comfortable with. So just a few seconds longer. It is my belief that that is the exact moment where magic visits you. And I'm talking connection, miracles, joy, synchronicities. I think that the longer you stay in those moments in life where it feels uncomfortable or embarrassing, you pass this threshold and you open the gates to heaven. I have wanted to make this episode for so long, and I want to discuss with you today the art of lingering and how we've lost the art of lingering. We no longer stay in spaces for longer than a few seconds sometimes. We're always passing through, shuttling from one space to the next, getting off the bus to go to work, getting out of your apartment to go to the shop. Like, there are rarely any moments in life where we linger. And lingering is almost like this magical space in time where miracles happen. I promise you, if you literally just pause on the street when you realize that you are rushing and you stop and you stare at a fucking tree, or you pause and you sit down on a bench, you actually realize how much you are constantly on the go in life, how much you are constantly rushing, how little you notice about your surroundings. And I promise, if you choose to sit on a bench, you might not even notice that there are benches on your daily commute. But if you sit on a bench for 1 minute, like, start small, sit on a bench for 1 minute, life becomes 1,000,000 times more vivid, more vibrant, more alive. It's a bit like when you take a Polaroid, right? And you take a picture of yourself, a friend, a sunset, and you have to sit and wait for the color to develop on the Polaroid. Life is the same. The longer you sit and you wait and you pay attention to it, to one thing, one frame, one branch of the tree, the more vivid it becomes. Because in focusing on it, you get to just marvel at this thing, and it creates this opening inside of you where you can almost feel how beautiful it is and how beautiful life is. And that's what happens when you linger. That's what happens when you stop and pause. And we rarely do this. We move so quickly. I'm including myself in this. Lingering is a practice that I have incorporated in my life over the last few years. So what this looks like for me is when I'm in a coffee shop and I'm in the queue, as best as possible, I will not be on my phone. I'm scanning the room. I'm watching the barista make the coffee. I'm looking at the pastries. I'm noticing the outfit of the woman in front of me and how she styled herself today. Or I'm looking around and I see that there's like a woman with her newborn baby in the corner of the coffee shop. I'm looking and scanning my environment for things to delight me. And that might sound so boring to you. But I think so many of us complain that we're lonely. And it's because we have this barrier between us and other people, this barrier between us and connection, and that is our phones, obviously. But I think your phone can sometimes act as this shield to avoid the vulnerability of making eye contact with people. And so I actually find it quite embarrassing now to be seen on my phone. It looks like you're hiding. I think when you're on your phone in public, in like a coffee shop or something, it looks like you are hiding. And so I've actually reversed it in my brain now, where I used to think it was embarrassing to be seen alone in public. I used to think, oh my God, does everyone in here think I'm so desperate? Does everyone in this room think, who the hell, what is she doing on her own? What a loser, what a loner. How embarrassing. She's people watching. It feels, when you're people watching, it can almost feel quite intrusive, right? Which is so weird, because the only alternative is to like go on your fucking phone. And I just hate being on my phone in public. And so I now actually feel quite embarrassed about being on my phone, because what's more embarrassing to me is being someone that's afraid of vulnerability. It's more embarrassing for me. It just sort of reeks of this social anxiety, actually, to be seen on your phone. A lot of people ask me, you know, how do you go out in public on your own? It's something that gives me a complete and utter lust for life, is being alone, but being in public on my own is just sheer perfection. It gives me a sense of agency because, number one, it signals to my brain that I'm not waiting for someone to invite me out to live my life. And so I feel powerful as fuck. I feel like the delicious, creative, life-grabbing goddess that I fucking know I am, right? So I feel empowered because I'm wearing something cute. I'm taking myself out. I'm not waiting for life to happen to me. So that's one of the reasons why I love going out alone. And number two, it's an opportunity for me to push through the threshold of discomfort of being seen alone. So a lot of you ask me, don't you feel embarrassed going out alone? I can't do it. It's so scary. Yes, I have that voice in my head that's saying, people are looking at you. You look desperate, blah, 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 blah. But that's not truth. It's just a voice. Just because something is a belief doesn't mean it's real, right? So I'll give you an example. When I first came to LA, I came to LA completely alone last year for the first time ever. And I stayed at one of the most incredible fucking hotels. And I pushed myself to stand at the bar, sober, because I don't drink, of one of the most popular hotspots in Los Angeles. And I stood there by myself, completely raw, no drink to take the edge off. And I left my phone in my fucking hotel room. I wasn't even drinking a cocktail. I had a mocktail. So there was nothing to sort of soothe my thoughts of social anxiety. And as I was scanning the room, I had this awful voice in my head that was telling me, what the fuck are you doing? This is so embarrassing. Everyone in here belongs. Everyone in here knows each other. No one here knows you. You've just flown in from London. This is so embarrassing. And it was this voice, this nagging, which is essentially the same voice I've always had in my head, but she has different things to say depending on the situation. She's just this cunt that is afraid of my expansion. Yeah, she's like this guardian that exists and lingers at the edge of my limits of comfort. She exists at the threshold of my expansion. And so I just ignored her. You know, she's going on in my head. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I didn't even have my phone, remember? I couldn't even pull out my phone to avoid the vulnerability of sitting alone at a bar with my back to the bar, by the way. So I had my arms up at the bar, leaning back on the bar, facing the fucking room in one of LA's most popular bars. On my own, no alcohol to make me feel the courage, no phone, just raw, facing my fears of being seen alone in public, being in a new space, and not having anything to strip me of the discomfort of lingering and people watching. I didn't even have anyone to talk to. No one was talking to me. And thank God, because it just pushed me into this new threshold of magic. And I proved to myself that I can do anything after that. And I had the most beautiful time. I got to witness people leaning in over tables, talking. It was very dark in this bar. I witnessed beautiful moments between people. I overheard the most insane conversations. There's always an insane conversation happening in LA. You are never more than 2 meters away from an insane conversation. There was this one guy who was talking about he was bullying this man into a lawsuit with him. He was bullying him into submitting and backing out of this lawsuit. It was so funny. And then next to me was these two people on their first date, and she smelled incredible. And I was so tuned in. I was tapped into the frequency of magic, and I was paying attention. And that voice in my head, it just dissolved. And you know what? I convinced myself, no, I'm not sat alone at this bar like a fucking loser. I'm Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. I'm here on a work trip. You know, you just have to romanticize those moments, and the embarrassment and the shame and the fear, it just dissolves. And you know what? What was the alternative? I stayed in my hotel room and I went to bed. I could have so easily have done that, but I didn't. I chose to face my fear and not hold myself back from experiencing the magic of life and witnessing the beauty unfolding around me and all of this hilarious, wonderful LA stuff that was going on around me. And it completely changed my life. I felt so fucking proud of myself. And from there on, it just really set the tone for my whole trip to LA, you know? The next morning I woke up, I spoke to people on the street, people said good morning. It was beautiful. It was incredible. And, you know, now, unless I need to get my phone out for something or write an idea down, I'm never on my phone when I'm in the queue. Because the queue, you know, at like a coffee shop or something, you're waiting in line, that is one of the most potent opportunities and little portals for you to connect with people and even just connect with your surroundings, you know? Like those moments when you're in a queue, it's an opportunity for you to practice being present. And the weirdest thing of all is that being present in that way, it feels illegal. You know, like isn't it still illegal to loiter in some places? I wrote a lot about this in my last book, actually. I'm just remembering. I've already written about this, but it feels illegal in some spaces to just be present. And we're having those spaces stripped away from us all the time, you know? It's so much easier to, I don't know, not approach a person because you think they look really cool and instead like check out their Instagram or something. And so I've switched it around in my head now where I actually think it's a lot cooler to be brave. You know? A cool girl is just a brave girl. A cool girl is not someone that's on their phone avoiding the vulnerability and pretending that she doesn't want connection. You know, that's not me being cool. It's cool to be brave. It's cool to completely overcome the fear of social rejection. And I have gained so much social confidence from just raw dogging reality and not going on my phone in the queue, and even just like getting a coffee and sitting outside somewhere and not journaling and not being on my phone and not reading a book. You literally have to sometimes in life just pretend that you're an old man. Like, old men have this social permission to just sit on a bench and observe the world. For some reason, it feels embarrassing to do that as a young person. You're supposed to just sit there on your phone or sit there and be with someone and just sort of like give off this detached, cool, je ne sais quoi. But it's not cool. It actually just sort of, in my opinion, emanates this energy of deep insecurity because you're using your phone as this buffer between you and the vulnerability of earnestly looking for connection. That's kind of why I love LA. Everyone's very open to connection. You can literally start a conversation with anyone and people are open to it. You know, in the queue, you just compliment someone's outfit and start talking to someone, you know? And I think, obviously, it doesn't always work. Some people, do you know what? I'm yet to meet a grumpy person in Los Angeles. I haven't met a single grumpy person. Actually, that's a lie. I've met one man. I complimented his outfit because I don't keep love in my chest. I never keep love in my chest. If I think a good thought about someone, I tell them, because you never know. They might have been praying for it. That morning, they might have been praying like, God, just give me a sign. And then you put a little skip in their step because you say, hey, I love the way you put your outfit together today, you know? So anyway, I never keep love in my chest. And I saw this guy, he was wearing a really cool outfit, but guess what? Actually, he was hunched over on his mobile phone. And I said, hey, I love your outfit. And he looked up at me and went, sure. Sure. And you might be listening to this and thinking, Jesus, Floss, it doesn't take that much courage to stand in a queue at the coffee shop without using your phone. Try it. Put your phone in your pocket the next time that you're in line for coffee or the next time you're sat on a bench. And if you never sit on a bench, go and sit on a bench like an old man. Get your little coffee, get it in a cup, like a proper cup, and sit and watch the world go by and notice how many times a voice in your head tells you, God, you look so fucking weird. Oh my God, that person's staring at you because they think you're weird. You look like a fucking weirdo staring at the world. Notice how many times your eyes avert eye contact with people. Notice how uncomfortable it feels in your body to display this openness. It feels really uncomfortable. And yet, if you can push through that fucking threshold and you can maintain eye contact with someone, or you can give someone that double take, and when you look back at them for the second time and you make eye contact, say, hey, I fucking love your outfit. I was just admiring your clothes. Or, hey, you have really beautiful energy. Have an amazing day. You know, I was sat on a bench the other day and the sun peeked its head out of a tree and I moved towards the sun like a cat. And I just closed my eyes and like lunged my whole body forward to embrace this sun. And I just hear this guy go, woo! Who's like, I felt that. So just go out in public and act like one of those old guys that just sits on a bench and has iconic retired person energy. Like, you know, those older men that you see and you can tell they just love life by the way they just go to parks and like watch the ducks. Are you kidding me? It's so beautiful. I've basically lived my life. My morning routines have been like the morning routine of an old man. I never experience more happiness than when I'm looking at the ducks. Truthfully, just go create a moment of magic for yourself. Sit outside the coffee shop and face the world. Don't face the side, face the world. I'm literally being dead serious when I say sometimes the difference between a really flat and dull morning and a magical morning that leaves you feeling so inspired is putting your phone in your pocket and choosing to smile at people. It's putting your phone in your pocket and even not reading a book and just looking up and out at the world and daring to linger. Have like sticky eyes. Let your eyes be sticky on the beautiful roses as you walk past them. Be sticky. Be sticky with the beautiful things in your life. So imagine it, be sticky. Imagine literally being sticky. That's what lingering really is letting your attention be sticky on a walk. So you just go for a walk, you look at flowers and you stop. You actually stop your body to stroke the petals of a pink flower because you want to, and you want to feel it, you want to touch it. And if someone walks past and you feel yourself, like you feel this urge to pull away from the flower because, oh my God, that's so embarrassing, stay stroking the petals. And I mean it when I say tiny things like this that make you feel a bit crazy, they're going to change your life. I mean it when I say that these are the baby steps that it takes to living a mentally free existence where you really just don't give a fuck about what anyone thinks about you. Stroke the petals of a flower. Trace your fingers over a tree. I hug trees sometimes. It feels like I just need to hug a tree. And people in LA do that shit all the time. You'll just be going for a walk and someone will be hugging a fucking tree. And I'm like, these are my people. I'm so happy to be here. Just let yourself do things that feel socially embarrassing, but that you feel this urge to just do. And it's going to free you. Be the person that says good morning. Don't wait for people to say good morning to you. Let yourself linger. Sit on a bench, act like an old man and linger, okay? This week, I want you to practice giving that person that you're attracted to that second look and smile. Let people know and let life know that you're open to connection. Wanting connection is not embarrassing, and it doesn't make you cool to pretend that you don't want it, you know? I think we're all desperate to connect with each other, and it starts with taking the first leap. Life is going to flirt with you. You just need to make the first move. Be the person that says good morning. Be the person that makes that double take at someone you're attracted to. Be the person that compliments women's outfits. Don't hold love in your chest. If you have a good thought, let it out. Because guess what? The most liberating thing in life is that no one is obligated to reciprocate your love. And so you should just give it out as freely as possible. Yeah? No one's obligated to smile back at you. Just give it out, hope for the best, because you want to give out your love. Compliment people, smile at people, stroke the petals of beautiful flowers when you see them. Like, let life know that you love it. And I promise you, at the end of that threshold of discomfort that you feel, right? Let's say you're walking down the street. How does this actually look? Okay. Let's say you are walking down the street and the sun is shining and you're feeling so good and you're feeling that aliveness in your chest and the birds are chirping and you're smiling. and you see someone and all you want to do is say, good morning, right? Like you're feeling that like passion and enthusiasm, but you're afraid that the person is going to think, what the fuck is she on? Right? That's your green light. Do it. That is the moment where you need to push through that threshold, because guess what? It's probably going to make their fucking day, first of all. Second of all, you might open the door to a new connection. Beautiful. And then third of all, you get to teach yourself that you can survive social rejection. Yeah? And actually, let's add a fourth one in there. Even if this person cringes at you, you've given them something to talk about. Yeah, they're going to go home and say, God, I saw this woman today and she just said good morning. Like, honestly, what can they actually say? I saw this amazing woman walking down the street today who said good. There's nothing anyone could say about that, okay? Being miserable and pretending that like people who express themselves are embarrassing isn't cool anyway. Like, there really is no loss to this. There really is no loss. So just embrace those micro moments of discomfort where you want to express yourself and let yourself linger. Make eye contact for longer. Sit in spaces, because the longer you linger in life, the deeper the magic. The longer you linger, the deeper the magic. Have that as your mantra. The longer I linger, the deeper the magic. The longer I linger, the deeper the magic. There are moments where I will be sat on a bench or going for a walk and I pause and I just wait like even 10 seconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're on your way somewhere, 10 seconds of stillness feels like an eternity because of this weird social shame we have. And even just like the social norm of always walking on the pavement. Like you feel like a crazy person for stopping to stare at a tree. You feel like a crazy person for stopping to admire a flower. Do it. And watch what happens. Life becomes so much more vibrant and vivid. Like the Polaroid, the picture becomes clearer and you get in touch with that spark inside you again. And I say this all the time, the most magical part of the day for me is the morning. But whenever that is for you, grab those moments. Those are the moments where I feel connected to the universe. Those are the moments where I feel connected to my higher power. I feel insane, like impenetrable happiness and joy. That's where I get my lust for life. I don't get my lust for life from being constantly fucking comfortable. I get my lust for life from watching myself jump through these little thresholds of discomfort. No one can touch me. No one can touch my lust for life because it's something I cultivate for myself. It's something that we each have control over. The longer you linger, the deeper the magic. Don't just dart in and out of the coffee shop. Look around, look at shit. Notice how the barista's done their hair. Compliment their tattoos. And I'm not saying do it for the sake of it. Mean it, don't just say shit to say shit. But when you feel love in your chest, don't hold it in. I'm a lover girl, okay? I'm such a lover girl. I'm a fucking lover girl. And it's not my weakness. It's the bravest fucking thing about me. Lover girls are brave girls, okay? It's so brave to still have an open heart in spite of every single thing, every single person that has tried to crush your optimism. It's so brave to still have an open heart and be open to love and to give out love, not only in a world like this, but after everything you've been through. Yeah, it doesn't make you weak. It makes you brave as fuck. What is weak is sort of living your life with the shield against vulnerability, whether that shield is your phone and you're constantly looking down, or you're too embarrassed to make eye contact with someone, yeah? And I'm not saying this to shame you. I know how hard it is. There are so many times where I kick myself and I'm like, God, why didn't I just talk to that person? Why didn't I ask them this? Why didn't I do that? Whatever. You know, there are so many moments for connection that pass us by. But I've made a friends with someone just because I was looking up. And she caught my eye and we started chatting to each other. And now we text each other every day. Yeah? Just view that discomfort that you feel in public as a threshold to the next layer of your expansion. Pretty much my life philosophy is to become as mentally free as possible and to notice the sophisticated and the intellectual ways that fear masks itself. And fear can mask itself sometimes as, well, she didn't look very friendly, so I didn't smile at her. Why would I smile at her first? You know, like you see a woman wearing a cute outfit and you want to compliment her or you want to say, hey, I love your outfit, but maybe she's not smiling. Or I don't know, you just have this idea that she's going to be mean and not reciprocate the compliment or something. That's just fear. So this week, I want you to experiment with lingering. Sit on a bench like a grandpa. Put your phone in your pocket and stare out at the world and see what happens. Smile at a stranger. Talk to someone, stare at the sun. And when the sun comes out, close your eyes and feel it. Like we feel like it's embarrassing to relish in life. You know, sometimes I moan when I sip my coffee. Like I will be at a coffee shop, I will take a fucking whiff of that shit. And I'm like, oh, you know, there's something that feels quite embarrassing about being like, enjoying life. Like we're all supposed to be walking around like we're all used to the pleasures of existing, you know? But when that sun comes out and it hits my face first thing in the morning, I'm closing my eyes and I'm leaning in and I'm letting the delight show on my face because I don't care about being seen. Like I don't want to be seen as someone that's like, just so used to this, just so used to. No, like I don't get a kick from that. If I'm enjoying myself, I want to show it, you know? And also, just a disclaimer, I'm not suggesting that you just, you know, talk to random men. Use your discernment, okay? Discernment and intuition are so important, especially as a lover girl. I joke often on social media, but it's not really a joke, I actually do it. I wear blacked out sunglasses to protect my energy from fucking weird men. Because when you're a woman that loves life, when you are so magnetic, you just pull everything in like a magnet. And that doesn't mean that everything you pull in is meant for you. No one really talks about that part of magnetism, is that when you're so magnetic, you pull quite a lot of stuff in, which is great, but it's on you to discern what's good for you and what's not. Yeah. So trust your gut, babes. You know, the other day I was at a cafe and I felt this guy looking at me for a bit too long and I immediately ordered my Uber home. I trust my intuition before the bad thing happens. So, you know, trust your gut. Trust yourself to leave if something bad happens. I think that's also part of being a brave lover girl, is you can love again. You can love again. You can love life again because you can trust yourself to leave. Yeah, you got yourself out of that shit last time, whatever you went through. You can leave. You can get out of it. You can get out of it. Okay? Be open to life. Be open to life. Flirt with life, make the first move. Do something this week that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Smiling at someone, not wearing your sunglasses. Take your fucking sunglasses off. Look at the world, yeah? And just know that you can put them back on again if you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, woman's intuition, trust it every time. But you've got this. You've got this. You've got nothing to worry about. Go out, linger, and experience the magic that comes through for you when you are just even a little bit more present with your life. Do something that feels socially embarrassing, like stopping to stroke the petals of a flower, striking up conversation with someone. And if they don't reciprocate it, that love was not wasted. Love is never wasted. Lover girls are brave girls, and your love is never wasted. If someone rejects you, someone ghosts you, it's never wasted. Because you can't give out love expecting it to be reciprocated. No one is obligated to reciprocate your love, and that is actually really fucking freeing. You just got to give it out and hope for the best. I will never be ashamed of being a lover girl. I used to be. I used to think it was unfeminist and embarrassing that I'm such a fucking romantic. But I wouldn't have it any other fucking way. It's worse for me, the idea of being closed off, because life is so beautiful, and I am so much happier now that I've opened my petals. You know, if you keep your petals closed for too long and you sort of look down all the time, you don't make eye contact with people, and you shield yourself because you're afraid of being rejected, you're afraid of people laughing, whatever, the light never gets in. You protect yourself, but the light never gets in. And I love the light too much. I love love too much. I love romance too much. I love magic too much to close myself off from that forever. And let's close off with this affirmation. The longer I linger, the deeper the magic. The longer I linger, the deeper the magic. I am a fucking effervescent, vibrant lover girl. I am an effervescent, vibrant fucking lover girl. I love you so much. Let me know how it goes. And we'll chat next week. I love you. Mwah.